Welcome back to the channel Official History of Coins. If you enjoy discovering hidden treasures and learning how everyday objects can turn into something truly valuable, you're in the right place. First up, today we are talking about one coin, the famous 1967 Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary American 10-cent coin, but collectors and coin enthusiasts know that certain examples of this coin can attract serious attention in the numismatic market. The 1967 dime belongs to the long-running series known as the Roosevelt Dime. This coin series was introduced in 1946 to honor the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt was admired not only for leading the country through difficult times, but also for his support of the March of Dimes campaign that helped fight polio. The design of the Roosevelt Dime was created by the talented engraver John R. Sinek of the United States Mint. On the front of the coin, you can see Roosevelt's profile facing left, along with the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." The reverse side features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The specific coin we are exploring today was minted in 1967 during a very interesting period in American coin history. In the mid-1960s, the United States faced a serious coin shortage. People were saving coins, and silver prices were rising quickly, which made circulating coins harder to keep in everyday use. Because of this situation, the government made a major change with the Coinage Act of 1965. This law removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters and introduced a new copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1967 dime is part of this historic transition period, making it an important piece of American monetary history. Another fascinating detail about the 1967 dime is that mint marks were temporarily removed from coins between 1965 and 1967. This decision was made to discourage collectors from hoarding coins. As a result, every 1967 dime looks similar, which makes rare varieties and high-grade examples especially exciting for collectors. Even though millions of these coins were produced, certain 1967 dimes stand out because of their exceptional condition. Coins that remain perfectly preserved, with sharp details and brilliant surfaces, can attract strong demand from collectors who want the finest examples for their collections. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A normal circulated 1967 dime might look ordinary, but a high-grade specimen that appears almost untouched by time can become extremely desirable to serious collectors. Some collectors search for coins with unusual features such as strong strike quality, unique tunning colors, or rare minting variations. When a 1967 dime displays these characteristics, it can quickly move from being pocket change to becoming a prized collectible. Professional grading companies such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company evaluate coins and assign them quality grades. When a 1967 Roosevelt dime receives a top-tier grade, its value in the collector market can rise dramatically. Collectors around the world actively search auctions, coin shows, and online marketplaces hopping to find rare high-quality examples of classic American coins. The excitement of discovering a beautiful 1967 dime keeps the hunt alive for many enthusiasts. Because of this demand, the value of a superb example can reach impressive levels. In premium condition, certain 1967 Roosevelt dimes have achieved prices that can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on grade, eye appeal, and collector interest. Imagine finding a small 10-cent coin in a jar of change and realizing that collectors might pay as much as $1,500 or more for an exceptional example. That possibility is exactly why coin hunting remains such a thrilling hobby. What makes the 1967 dime even more appealing is its connection to a turning point in U.S. coinage history. It represents the moment when American coins transitioned away from precious metals toward modern clad compositions. For collectors, owning one of these coins is like holding a small piece of the economic story of the United States. Each coin carries the legacy of the era when it was minted and the decisions that shaped modern currency. If you ever come across a 1967 Roosevelt Dime, take a closer look before spending it. Check the condition, the shine, and the details of the design. You might just be holding a coin that collectors would be excited to add to their collections. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest stories. The 1967 Roosevelt Dime proves that even a simple 10-cent piece can capture the attention of collectors and potentially bring an impressive price. So next time you check your pocket change, remember this. A single coin, like the 1967 Roosevelt Dime, might just be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered, and in the right condition it could sell for as much as $1,500 or even more to the right collector. Next coin, the 1970 Roosevelt Dime, is one of the fascinating small coins in American numismatic history, and today we are focusing on one single coin from this series. Even though it is only a 10-cent piece, collectors know that certain examples of this coin can become extremely desirable and valuable over time. This coin belongs to the famous Roosevelt Dime collection, which has been produced in the United States for many decades. The coin was created to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader remembered for guiding the country through major historical events and for supporting the March of Dimes campaign that fought against polio. The Roosevelt Dime design was introduced in 1946 and was created by the talented engraver John R. Sinek. His design shows Roosevelt's portrait on the front with the word Liberty, while the reverse features a torch between an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. By the time the 1970 dime was produced, the coin was being struck by the United States Mint using a copper-nickel-clad composition. This change had taken place after the historic Coinage Act of 1965 removed silver from circulating dimes due to rising metal prices and a nationwide coin shortage. The 1970 Roosevelt Dime was minted in large quantities for everyday circulation, meaning millions of people used it in daily transactions across the country. However, the passage of time has made well-preserved examples much harder to find. Collectors today pay special attention to coins that remain in extraordinary condition. A 1970 dime with strong details, brilliant luster, and minimal marks can stand out dramatically among ordinary circulated coins. Another factor that can increase interest in the 1970 dime is the mint mark. Coins from certain mints can attract different levels of attention depending on the rarity of high-grade specimens available to collectors. When collectors search through coin rolls or old collections, finding a pristine 1970 Roosevelt dime can be a thrilling discovery. These coins often represent decades of preserved history packed into a tiny piece of metal. Professional grading organizations like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company carefully evaluate coins and assign them grades that determine their market appeal. A coin that receives an extremely high grade instantly becomes far more desirable in the collector marketplace. The difference between an average coin and a top-graded specimen can mean a dramatic jump in value. For example, a typical circulated 1970 dime may only represent its face value, but collectors are willing to pay much higher prices for examples that appear nearly perfect and untouched. When a coin reaches the highest levels of preservation, collectors compete to add it to their collections. This demand can push prices significantly higher at auctions and private sales. In recent years, top-grade examples of the 1970 Roosevelt dime have shown the potential to sell for impressive amounts. Depending on the condition and collector demand, the value can climb toward $800 or even more for a superb example. The possibility of discovering a coin worth hundreds of dollars keeps collectors motivated to search through jars of old change, inherited coin collections, and bank rolls. Many experienced collectors believe that coins from the 1960s and 1970s will continue gaining attention as time passes. As more coins become worn or lost, well-preserved examples become increasingly scarce. Because of this growing scarcity, the long-term future value of the 1970 Roosevelt Dime could become even more exciting for collectors who hold high-quality examples. The idea that a small 10-cent coin might someday be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars adds a sense of excitement to the world of coin collecting. Every year, new collectors enter the hobby, increasing the demand for classic American coins and pushing prices upward for the best examples available. That means the 1970 Roosevelt Dime is not just a piece of pocket change. It is a piece of American history that continues to attract attention in the collector community. For anyone who discovers one of these coins in exceptional condition, the potential selling price today could reach as much as $800 or more, and future collector demand may push the value even higher. This is why many coin enthusiasts carefully examine every dime they come across, because hidden among ordinary coins could be a 1970 Roosevelt Dime that collectors would gladly pay hundreds of dollars to own. Second coin, the 1979 D Roosevelt Dime, is a small American 10-cent coin that has captured the attention of coin collectors and treasure hunters for decades. This script is about one specific coin, the 1979 dime with the D mint mark, a piece of currency that many collectors believe has exciting potential in the coin market. This coin belongs to the famous Roosevelt Dime, a series first introduced in 1946 to honor the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was widely admired for his leadership and for supporting the March of Dimes campaign that helped fight polio, which is why his portrait appears on the front of the coin. The design of the Roosevelt Dime was created by John R. Sinek, whose work became one of the most recognized coin designs in American history. On the front of the coin is Roosevelt's portrait along with the word liberty, while the reverse shows a torch surrounded by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing freedom, peace, and strength. The 1979 D version was produced at the Denver facility of the United States Mint. The D mint mark on the coin indicates that it came from the Denver Mint, and collectors often pay close attention to mint marks because they help identify where the coin was created. This coin was produced during the modern clad coin era in the United States. Instead of silver, the coin was made from a copper-nickel clad composition that had been introduced after the historic Coinage Act of 1965 removed silver from circulating dimes due to rising metal prices and a nationwide shortage of coins. Wikipedia. In 1979, the Denver Mint struck approximately 390,921,184 of these dimes, meaning millions of Americans used them in daily transactions across the country. Yet decades later, well-preserved examples are much harder to find, and collectors actively search for coins that survived in excellent condition. Uscoins.com. The reason collectors want this coin is simple. Condition and rarity within high grades can make a huge difference in value. A 1979 D Roosevelt Dime that still shows bright luster, sharp details, and minimal marks becomes far more attractive to collectors. Coin collectors across the United States and around the world continuously search through bank rolls, coin jars, and inherited collections hoping to discover hidden gems like this one. The demand from collectors is exactly what keeps the excitement around coins like the 1979 D dime alive. When people ask how many buyers are interested in a coin like this, the answer is simple: thousands of collectors and numismatic enthusiasts actively collect Roosevelt dimes. Online auctions, coin shows, and collector communities constantly look for well-preserved examples. Professional grading companies such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company evaluate coins and assign official grades that determine their desirability in the collector market. When a 1979 D Roosevelt dime receives a high mint state grade, its collector demand increases significantly. Coins with exceptional quality and strong strike details often attract competitive bidding among collectors. The current market value of a typical example of the 1979 D dime can range from about 10 cents to around $2.79 or more in uncirculated mint condition. But collectors know that the real excitement begins when a coin appears in extremely high grade. uscoins.com+1. When a specimen is preserved at the highest levels, especially with strong details and brilliant surfaces, the value can rise dramatically because collectors compete to obtain the best examples. This is why collectors examine the coin carefully for clear design details, bright mint luster, and perfectly defined lines on the torch bands on the reverse side of the coin. Coins with extraordinary quality often bring surprising prices in auctions because collectors want the finest known examples to complete their sets. For a beautiful, high-grade 1979 D Roosevelt dime, the selling price in the collector market could reach $500 or even more depending on condition, grading, and collector demand. That possibility is exactly what motivates coin hunters around the world to carefully check every dime they encounter in circulation. Many collectors also believe that coins from the late 20th century will gain more recognition as time passes and as high-grade examples become more difficult to find. As more people begin collecting coins and searching for historical pieces of American currency, the demand for coins like the 1979 D Roosevelt dime could continue to grow. For someone who discovers one of these coins in outstanding condition, the potential selling price today could climb toward $500 or more, and future collector demand could push the value even higher. The idea that a small 10-cent coin could turn into hundreds of dollars is exactly why coin collecting remains one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. And that is why the 1979 D Roosevelt dime continues to attract attention, because a single coin hiding in your change today could become a highly desirable collectible, tomorrow worth hundreds of dollars to the right buyer. Next coin, the 1990 D Roosevelt dime, is a modern American 10-cent coin that many collectors search for when building a complete Roosevelt dime collection. This script focuses on one specific coin, the 1990 dime with the D mint mark, a small coin that carries decades of history and surprising collector interest. This coin belongs to the famous Roosevelt dime, which was first introduced in 1946 to honor the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt's portrait appears on the front of the coin as a tribute to his leadership and his support of the March of Dimes campaign that helped fight polio in the United States. The design of the Roosevelt dime was created by the skilled engraver John R. Sinek. The front of the coin shows Roosevelt's profile along with the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." On the reverse side, a torch stands in the center, with an olive branch and an oak branch representing peace and strength. The 1990 D coin was produced at the Denver facility of the United States Mint. The small letter D next to the date shows that the coin was minted in Denver, a detail that collectors always check when examining coins. During 1990, the Denver Mint produced an enormous number of these coins, more than 839,995,000 pieces for circulation across the country. Even though millions were made, Collectors know that finding coins preserved in excellent condition decades later can be much more difficult. USA Coin Book. The coin itself is made from a copper-nickel-clad metal composition that replaced silver in circulating dimes after the historic Coinage Act of 1965 changed the composition of American coins due to rising silver prices. Even though it was originally created for everyday use, the 1990 Roosevelt Dime has slowly gained attention among collectors who enjoy searching for modern coins in outstanding condition. Many collectors are actively looking for this coin today. Coin dealers, auction collectors, and online buyers constantly search for well-preserved Roosevelt dimes to complete their collections. Thousands of collectors worldwide follow the Roosevelt Dime series and are interested in high-grade examples. The current value of the coin depends strongly on its condition. Standard examples may sell for small amounts, but when the coin appears in mint-state condition with brilliant surfaces, the collector value can increase significantly. Cointrackers +1. Coins graded in very high mint condition are especially exciting for collectors. Professional grading companies evaluate coins carefully and assign grades that determine their market demand and collector value. When a 1990 Roosevelt dime is preserved with perfect details and sharp torch lines on the reverse side, collectors describe it as having full bands, a special feature that increases interest and desirability among serious coin enthusiasts. Because of this collector demand, exceptional examples of the 1990 dime have reached impressive prices in auctions. Some high-grade specimens have sold for around $470, and certain premium full bands examples have the potential to reach as much as $795 depending on grade and collector competition. Coins value +1. This possibility is exactly why coin collectors carefully inspect every dime they encounter. A small coin that once circulated in everyday transactions could now attract strong interest from collectors. Many people ask where they can buy a coin like this. The answer is simple. Collectors often purchase coins from coin dealers, coin shows, and well-known online marketplaces where collectors trade rare pieces. Some of the most popular places to buy collectible coins include platforms such as eBay and heritage auctions, where collectors from around the world compete for rare and high-grade coins. If you want to sell a coin like this, the same places can also be excellent markets. Coin dealers, professional auction houses, and online collectors are always looking for interesting coins to add to their collections. However, many collectors recommend keeping the coin protected. Placing it in a protective holder or sealed coin capsule helps prevent scratches and preserves its quality for the future. Some collectors even send their coins to grading companies to have them authenticated and sealed in protective slabs. This process not only protects the coin, but can also increase its appeal when selling it to serious buyers. Because high-grade coins become rarer as time passes, many collectors believe that keeping a well-preserved 1990 Roosevelt dime could be a smart decision. Over the years, more coins become worn or lost, which means beautifully preserved examples gradually become harder to find. That growing scarcity is one of the main reasons collectors continue searching for coins like the 1990 Roosevelt dime. If a collector discovers one in outstanding condition, the potential value today could reach around $470, and in exceptional collector condition, even approach $795 when strong demand appears in auctions. Coins value. For many coin hunters, that possibility is exciting enough to check every dime they see, because a small 10-cent coin like the 1990 Roosevelt dime could turn out to be a collectible treasure worth hundreds of dollars to the right buyer.